roll call. I can see all our members. Again, official welcome to Greg for being on the board, congratulations on the council approving you.
Thank you.
Happy when they approve our recommendations.
Congratulations, welcome.
But really,
Thank you
very
so
warm
much.
welcome. We're very excited to have you. It's a very exciting time to be on the IDA, I think. And we've got a great crew here, and now we have an even better crew. So thank you.
Great. I appreciate it. Thank you.
For sure. Proof notice of meeting. I have in front of me a notice of meeting that was duly sent out to all the appropriate media outlets and put on the website and everything. With that, I will take a motion to go into executive session to discuss disposition of real property.
I move that we go into executive session.
Thank you,
I
Nancy.
second.
Second by Chrissy. All in favor, say aye.
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 Yes.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carried.
I will make a motion to leave executive session.
All
I
right.
A
will
second?
Second by Nancy, I believe. All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Yes.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carried.
We mentioned that we didn't vote on anything, no actions were taken.
Right. Our executive director is correct. I'll state for the record. We did not take any action or vote on anything during executive session. All right, everybody received the minutes from the last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll
Make
move
the
that
motion
we
to
approve
approve
the
the
minutes.
I'm just gonna be letting in the 3 people from the waiting room for the other project. They'll be.
Can I, wait, before you do that, Chair, can I just ask, okay, never mind.
We're already, we're already out of exec.
All right. So we have a motion on the floor for approval of the minutes.
I'll second.
Second from Michael. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstaining. Motion carried. For my report, 2 things. One for the Economic Development Committee. We actually got a memo from the mayor really wanting more action from the committee, which we were very, very happy to get, because part of our ongoing discussion was like making sure that we sort of had the support of the council and really sort of like taking the reins for economic development. So we are going to be having a retreat with the city council mid-December, I think the 14th, something like that. In any event, in December, we're having a retreat with them so we can discuss what they expect from us and what they can expect from us, which is very encouraging that the mayor is full force behind it. That's about it. I understand there was a, and this is more of an IDA thing than a CDAC thing, but there was a legislative meeting this evening, I believe, a county legislature where they discussed the Grand Street project. And I got word that one of the legislators is going to reach out to me essentially to sort of like have the first discussions about what our incentives could look like if they grant that proposal. I did send them a letter saying that we're eager to consider an application, letting them know that, that it's a great project for the city, that it's essentially a bird in the hand. And if they want to not approve it because they spent too much money on it years ago, then I said it in more, a way where it's, it's important to know you have a bird in the hand, and we don't know what potential birds there might be in the bush. So let's take advantage of this one. That's it for my report. Moving on.
May I just interject and say we
Sure.
did not do our treasurer's report or any of that kind of thing? Are we doing that later?
I'm sorry, I totally skipped over that. Yep. Marlon, Mr. Treasurer.
All right, I was just gonna say something. Thank you, Nancy. All right, so as of October 27th, the opening balance was 256,861 with 69 cents. We had deposits from AT&T, 2 months they actually paid up. Total amount of 7,102 with 4. Kind of expecting that one. Then we had deposits from Sprint, Central Hudson, AT&T again for the month of November, looks like. And then we have T-Mobile. The total amount of deposits for that month was 19,069 with 2 cents. And then our bills, we had a total payments amounts for 7,634 with 99 cents. That means that we closed out at 268,295 with 72 cents.
Okay.
The application funds, same at 14,137 with 50 cents. Same thing with the tenant account. Our money market account increased $129.96.
26.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So we ended up closing out at 749,770 with 29 cents. Yeah, so that's the treasurer's report.
All right. I will take a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I will move to approve the treasurer's report.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Adam. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Austin, before we move on, Christy and Adam, I'm gonna be reaching out to you so that we can coordinate the meeting so that we can talk about the 2021 budget and also the policies. We look at the policies to see if we're gonna be making any changes or we're gonna keep it the same. And just basically like last year, in addition to that, we reached out, well, Cher was actually the one that reached out to the auditing firm, the accounting firm, so that they can send the engagement letter to us. So we're basically started that conversation. Is there anything specific, Cher, that we, other than that? Yeah, that's some of the other additional things that I wanted to inform you of.
Okay. It was all in favor, so motion carries. Do I have a motion to pay the bills as presented?
I'll move to pay the bills.
Thank you, Mike. Second.
Second.
Nancy, I believe. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstaining, motion carried. We can pay our bills. Council's report.
Thank you. I just have 2 matters. One is the Foundry, where the bankruptcy court did approve the order of sale subject to a closing in 4 months.
Mhm.
And then on Scobie Drive, I did hear from Dominic's firm. Jim McIver has finished their review of the underground issues, and that will be submitted within the next 30 days to the Department of Environmental Conservation.
Mhm.
And hopefully DEC approves that and they can continue to proceed.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you, Bob. Executive Director's report, share.
Everything's pretty much just running smoothly. It's the end of the year stuff that's we do every year. I think I did email you all potential dates for the meetings for 2021. If you have any issues with those dates, let me know. And also, I anticipate having an application in for the PPE. I haven't gotten it yet, so I won't say who it is, but I'm anticipating that you'll be receiving an email from someone interested in applying for the funds. That's pretty much it.
Cher, do we not have a meeting in December?
Yes, we do.
We do. And have they extended the Zoom meetings given what's going on?
Not yet that I know of. December 3rd was the last update. If they extend it again, then, I'll be sure to let you all know, and then
Okay.
we can continue with this option if you guys want to do that.
That reminds me, we're doing a public hearing for the UTEP, the Uniform Tax Exemption Policy.
Right.
What is it, Cher?
You said December 3rd, I think you were interested
Yeah,
in the
so
date?
it's a Thursday, at 5 o'clock, right, at City Hall. Nobody's, I mean, you all are not obligated to attend. Cher and I will be there. But just as an FYI,
You'll get the emails.
tell your friends to come out
Okay.
and be very excited about us changing our uniform tax exemption policy. Which they should be excited about. It's actually gonna be a very good thing. All right.
Do you have a comment, Bob, about it?
My only comment is I just got a note that the governor signed an executive order extending some dates to December 13th. I'll look at that and I'll let you know if that includes these public meetings.
Okay.
But
You need to, like,
the
sign an
UTEP
executive
meeting-
order that extends things for like 2 months. They need to have half as many executive orders to sign. By my
Yeah.
math.
Concur. Agreed.
But the UTEP meeting will be in person. It's not planned to be a Zoom
Yeah.
meeting, FYI.
That's right. Yes. Thanks. Okay. Are you good, Sherry? Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. So we have some guests. The winners of the 148 Washington Street. 143. It's right on the agenda here. Bid from the land bank. So congratulations on that, and welcome to the IDA virtual meeting.
Thank you. We're really happy to be here. We have a brief presentation. Should we share the screen?
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you.
Cam?
1 second, I'll bring it up here.
Just while we're waiting, hi, I'm Kay Hayashi. I'm one of the partners of BJH Advisors, the development team. And my business partner, Michael, is on.
Yep. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Cam Boucher will be our project manager and presenter tonight.
Can everyone see all right?
Yep.
Yeah, so thank you all for having us on here. We have a quick presentation. We're basically just going to go through, we have some renderings, and then we'll talk about the program and also just introduce ourselves and a little bit of our background. So yeah, as property is 143 Washington Street, and our team right here, so the three of us from BJH Advisors, we are a real estate consulting and development firm. And then we have partnered up with Design for 6 Feet, who is a local group of designers and architects that has done a number of programming in the Newburgh area, and then also has both global and local work in the Hudson Valley region and New York City. So they're not on, but have been very active throughout the project. Okay, did you want to speak to the quals?
Yeah, just by way of you getting to know us a little bit better, we have a small portfolio of historic rehabilitation type projects. I mean, we really like this project because it does have an existing structure, which we plan on seeking historic tax credits for. And then also it's combined with an empty lot where we're planning on doing new construction and combining the buildings. We have the first project, 186 Remsen Street, is a rehabilitation in Brooklyn. Civic Hall at Union Square is a large co-working and commercial space in Manhattan's 14th Street corridor. 500 Stagg Street is an industrial building in East Williamsburg. The Spofford Live Work Campus is a former juvenile detention center, and it will become a mixed-use project. It's in the Bronx. 1423 St. Mark's, that's Michael's investment in a residential building in Brooklyn. And then 2325 Park Place is 2 joint historic structures near City Hall in Manhattan, and it's commercial space with actually some loft residential units. And the next page just goes through some of Design for 6 Feet project, which we can't really speak to, but we just wanted to let you know that they're national, and they specialize in both historic rehab and new construction. we're really happy to partner with them. We went on the site visit today and we're really excited.
Yeah, and I'll just interject that one of the team members, John Powell, has a project at 185 Liberty that's, I think it's just about to go into construction in Newburgh.
And we had also mentioned some of their programming, not necessarily tied to designer development, but if anyone's familiar with the Awesome Newburgh program, or saw the Imagination Pavilion at the Newburgh Free Library, those are both initiatives they have been running. So going on to a little more about the project itself, our goal here first and foremost is creating a community-oriented asset for Newburgh. So if you're familiar with the site, there is currently one building structure on there, and then the corner part of the lot is empty. So we'd be existing the row house structure and then putting infill on the street corner there. It's going to be a mostly residential space, but the first floor is going to have just over 1,000 square feet of commercial. And that would be occupied. We're partnering with right now the Osborne Association, which is a nonprofit that works primarily with previously incarcerated individuals and other people affected by the prison system. So we would also actually look to keep some space for BJH to have an employee or possibly more up there in Newburgh full time. So a little more on the actual development plan. So it's going to be about 10,000 square feet, a little more overall, 4 stories, and we'll have a partial setback on the 5th floor. So we're looking at one unit up there, and then some amenity space, whether that's laundry or anything else like that. All the units are going to be affordable at 80% MI or below. We're actually looking at keeping 2 or 3 as market rate, but right now all of them are planned to be affordable, and they're all going to be studios or 1-bedrooms. The breakdown is pretty heavily studio right now, and like I said, a little over 1,000 square feet of commercial. We'll have a little garden area in the back for tenant access, and because we're looking at a lot of studios and 1-bedrooms, we've been careful to keep, as we're going through the design program in this building, a lot of open community space that tenants can access. And then just going through, here's some drawings so you can get an idea of exactly what the program will look like. So this would be on the left here. This is the first floor, and this would be the common garden area out back. The second floor going to be all residential units. The third, fourth, and then this would be the 5th here. So I know that was pretty quick, but we just wanted to have a chance to give you a little background, both us and the project. And if you have any questions, anything like that, we can open it up here.
So I think we should probably talk about what you're seeking, what IDA benefits you would be seeking, and how that aligns with your project and what the IDA does. Since Kay, you're very well aware of what IDAs, what they can and can't do. I think we've talked about this in private over the phone, but for the board to have a chance to hear what you plan on doing and the benefits you're seeking.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, in some ways, this project kind of falls through the crack of the as of right commercial and residential programs. And so we found ourselves needing to seek benefits, property tax benefits through the Industrial Development Agency, even though it's not fully a commercial project. It is a mixed-use project with mostly affordable units. We do hope to actually reserve 3 or 4 for a market rate. We're seeking a standard 10-year abatement program with the declining 10% a year. We would have preferred to do something as of right, but because of the historic rehab that, and combined with this other new construction, which is both a combined residential and commercial, there wasn't a program that could kind of provide an as of right benefit. So, I mean, that's what we're seeking. The performance is very tight. It is, hard to do new construction, new investment in Newburgh without some kind of benefit. So We're also underwriting this right now with the CPC program, the Community Preservation Corporation, a combined loan and grant. And also we're seeking the historic tax credit. So it's kind of like all of the support systems we're hoping to receive in order to basically do a project that also has an environmental sustainability component. We're trying to differentiate ourselves. We went on a tour today of Wireworks and we were really impressed by the mixed use there. You know, they have slightly larger units than what we're offering. And so we think that we need to kind of distinguish ourselves with something that has some sustainability features that will actually increase the construction cost a little bit. So that was a long-winded way of saying that, you know, we're going to have a high quality construction. It's going to meet environmental sustainability features. It's going to be mixed use, and we're seeking a 10-year straight line abatement, or the abatement on the improvements. Also, we would like to get the mortgage recording tax waiver and the sales tax abatement. So we have began filling out the application. We were really happy to speak with Cher and understand that Cher has kind of vetted the project at one level, but that we would be presenting a full application with more robust financial information at the December board meeting.
What kind of commercial are you providing? How many, and approximately how many jobs?
Yeah, the job numbers will be probably 1 or 2 from BJH Advisors. We're going to have like a 300 square foot unit office. And then the remainder of the commercial, about 700 square feet, would go to Osborne. And Cam, has Osborne given us their numbers yet? I think it's about 7 people.
Yeah, they haven't. It would be at absolute maximum 9.
We haven't finished design yet. One of the other things that we were thinking about doing was, we don't have full lot coverage for the infill development. So there's an empty portion of the yard. We're thinking if we can get it through the design commission, and if Newburgh likes the design, we might put a 1-story commercial structure on the back lot there, which could be like a coffee kiosk or a restaurant. I mean, it's kind of a nice circle from Liberty Street through the back part by the new Habitat for Humanity housing, which ends up back on Washington, then back on Liberty. There's this kind of loop that kind of feels like our site is at one end of, which might nicely be anchored by some kind of more retail type commercial. We also, though, didn't want to compete with the commercial on Liberty. So if you guys have any feedback about whether or not you think that would make sense, we'd be happy to hear your opinion.
If you don't mind, would you put the share screen up of the floor plans again?
Absolutely. The floor plans or the rendering?
The floor plans.
The floor plans, okay.
And as an aside, bring on the competition on Liberty Street. We need more of it.
Right.
Okay, all right. I mean, it wouldn't be, you know, we don't have enough room for a big sit down restaurant. It would be more of kind of like a coffee shop kiosk situation. So the commercial space, as you can see, there is this common patio lot area. The portion fronting Federal could also be a 1-story commercial structure that could have actually a roof outdoor common patio as opposed to a ground level patio. So that would enlarge the commercial space available, but it would be more lot coverage. And so we were unsure about whether or not we could get that through the entitlement process.
Yeah, I'm curious about the units that aren't fully laid out. Is that just because you're not through the design, or is there an intention for like shared spaces?
No, this isn't really, it doesn't lend itself quite as well to shared spaces. So that commercial area, that 1,050 square foot, that's what would be like about 300 square feet for BJH and about 700 square feet for Osborne. 300, we think we could put, you know, up to, you know, 2 or 3 people in there. We were actually joking that we could take a swing space at Wireworks. Their commercial units are awesome before we move into this one. But we have a few mid-Hudson projects, and so we're happy, we're excited about locating one of our employees there, 1 or 2. And then Osborne currently has a space in Newburgh. Are you familiar with their current location?
No.
Cam, where are they currently located?
It's up on Ann Street.
On Ann Street, okay.
Yep.
I think it's in smaller space and it's also multi-floor, and so they're very excited about kind of being on a ground floor.
Does Osborne right now, do they have employees? Do you know how many employees they have right now?
We can find out for you at the next, we'll have that information at the next meeting.
And the projected number of employees that they're having, is that after build out? You know, because they're doing, looks like they're doing non-for-profit work, right?
Right.
Yes, they're a not-for-profit, yes.
Mhm.
We want to have information for you at that meeting about kind of net new employees for Newburgh, kind of what the average salary is. They're a really cool organization.
And the rental units, is that planned to be used by Osborne, or is this something that's separate from? Are they going to keep it two separate?
Cam, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, so we with Osborne applied, and we supported the ESHI in the ESHI application, which is Empire State Supportive Housing Initiative. And so we applied for 3 units to go into that program, which would be supportive housing for individuals coming out of incarceration and re-entering the population. So those 3 would be targeted towards Osborne service provision, and Osborne would manage those.
So I think it would be really helpful, in fact, to have Osborne come on one of our meetings and talk.
Agreed.
Because I have a couple of thoughts on this. The first one is that, you know, our mission is jobs and
Right.
commercial off the bat. So the more commercial space you have in there, the better. I love green space, I do, but you know, in downtowns, it's density that's makes it thrive. So if there was some sort of retail component to this, then I think that would make it a lot more favorable, number one. Number two, I think we, even as a board and as residents, we all want to have a better understanding of how the post-incarceration supportive housing works, because we could not be more in favor of helping our friends and neighbors in Newburgh that have fallen on hard times or gotten mixed up in the wrong crowd or whatever it is, when they come back home, have a way to be supported and be helped. What we are very sensitive to, however, is what we have heard, at least, and I haven't like seen the data on this, so that's why I think Osborne can help out, of the state essentially sending people from wildly different places to Newburgh, and they don't have any connections. They don't really have the support because they don't have family or friends around either. And that causing an undue burden on Newburgh, which essentially ends up affecting negatively the people here that really need the help, that are from Newburgh.
Yes.
So if Osborne could come on and kind of give us an idea of how that works, and if you know, we have to kind of figure out how this works with our policy as far as what we can incentivize. But I'll tell you right now, we'd be way more in favor of a project that is supportive of people from Newburgh and Newburghers, than one that, you know,
Just bringing in, yeah.
overly burdens Newburgh, you know.
Osborne is going to partner with Newburgh Ministries, which has a homeless shelter, to actually target Newburgh residents, current Newburgh residents, because we anticipated that this might be a concern. And also, just Cam, I think that we applied for 5 units, not 3 units.
Yeah, you're right. I misspoke on the 3. Yep.
Yeah. So
How many total units are there?
there's 17. So it's
17.
it's a less than a third, but we hear your concern, Austin, and for the next meeting, we will have a representative from Osborne who can speak to the jobs, their strategy for marketing the units. And also, just FYI, we have not received word from the state. It's possible that we wouldn't have any in that program, although we really hope to. We think it's a great program.
So just to sort of reiterate what Austin has said, you know, our charge here with the IDA is to give out benefits in exchange for jobs for our community. We're really obviously Newburgh centric and community based, and to help provide economic sustainability, tax rateables to the city. So we are very commercially oriented. We are very Newburgh centric. Obviously, we're a group that's here specifically concerned about our residents. And one of the requirements for giving out these benefits, which is a package that we're actually updating and working on, is to show sort of a net fiscal impact of what benefit, what net positive benefit, and what your proposal would draw on existing services. Is it covering, are the taxes you're paying covering itself? Are the jobs you're creating covering the draw and the uses on the existing city infrastructure and city system? So those are the kind of things we're going to be looking for and asking to make sort of determinations. Most importantly, we are here to give benefits for, like Austin said, commercial, retail, office space, things of that nature, and not residential. I don't know how you have this modeled or pro forma to estimate, but it's on a, I don't believe it's necessarily on a 100% basis. So it may be on a percentage of retail. So our incentive obviously is to incentivize you guys as developers. The more tax benefit you need or want, the more commercial you provide, because that helps the existing city and city infrastructure.
Okay, yeah, those are actually questions that we had too, as to whether or not the application would consider the residential component of the development as well as the commercial. Because I think that if it's only the commercial, we may not, we might have to seek a different kind of incentive or a different, that I don't know if that, we were hoping to get the benefit on the residential as well as the commercial.
Right, or reduce the commercial. I mean, we very much want the commercial because we feel it's, we do feel it's an important, to have, people on the street, people there all the time. We like the activities, but it's, Newburgh rents, as or commercial rents are low, and since we're up, a block and a half off Liberty, we've underwritten, very low commercial rents, and also we are, our intention is to give, to Osborne as a nonprofit, to give them a little bit of a break. So it's a, the commercial pro forma is very much of a challenge.
But I think we're happy to hear this feedback. I guess we saw in your UTEP that, there wasn't kind of clear guidance. I guess Cher and others, maybe what we're asking for then is really kind of a deviation too, for some kind of consideration for the residential component, of which a certain percentage would be supportive housing. I don't know, in other jurisdictions, we've seen IDAs sort of take on some supportive housing. I guess it's a question for you to see if you're interested in that. And then also, the majority of the units will be affordable. So maybe also it would help you to understand the lack, how we kind of sort of slip through the cracks of some of the programming, the state programming for development. If we were more commercial, we were like all commercial, I think there would be an offering for us. I think if we were all affordable housing, there would be something, but this kind of like mixed use plus some market rate. The fact that we're a lot of different things means that there isn't really a program for us.
So how did you come up with this program mix? Is this just personal desire, or why are you pursuing that and not either all commercial or all market rate or all affordable? Or
Fed them at 5 o'clock.
It's mostly residential, as you can see, because the building structure, the current structure, lends itself to residential. It's not exactly on a commercial street. So the commercial was a little bit of a stretch, but we also wanted to activate the street life. So it was a combination of the current structure that's there, the fact that it's definitely a more residential area and site. However, part of our pitch to the land bank was to kind of do some activation. We also just really like the idea of mixed use structures. Where most of our development experiences in New York, where they have really embraced structures, neighborhoods, streets, corridors, development sites that have this diversity of offerings. It creates more 24/7 activation. It creates for stronger neighborhoods. And so we actually have sort of bought into that a little bit.
Sure.
Of commercial.
No, I wasn't necessarily asking why you were doing mixed use, because I
No.
fully understand the need for activating the street, and that's something that we are very much behind. It is definitely, a large component residential building. Is there a reason that you are doing the mix of residential that you are? Is there a reason you're not doing full market rate?
Yeah, because it doesn't pencil without the CPC mixed with the grant program. There's a combination of a CPC loan with a state grant that's it can be up to $75,000 a unit, depending on what the AMI bands are. So without that subsidy, which is a residential subsidy, and also it lends itself well to kind of the micro units, we could not get the pro forma to work.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions?
No questions.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys coming and doing the presentation. We'll get you in another time also with Osborne to help us understand the project a little more. I think in the meantime, if you have any questions, you have Cher's number.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you for your questions.
Yeah,
No problem.
Thank you
Thank you
all.
very much, guys. Take care.
Good night.
All right. Moving on to old business, slate of officers. Cher, do you want to? I mean, say, I don't know.
It's exactly the same. Everybody's interested in being exactly where they are. So unless you changed your mind since we spoke last week, then I think we just need a verbal motion to have everyone serve as is presented on the paper that I.
Is that, Bob, is that, we don't need to do that like in December or January. We can do that now, and that's.
You can
Okay.
do that now. You can do that now, sure.
All right. I will take a motion to essentially re-elect the existing slate of officers.
I will
And a
make a
second.
motion to re-elect the existing slate of officers.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Marlon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carried. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm hungry. So does anybody have any final remarks before we go? Great. Thank you all. This is great. Have a good evening.
You as well.
Do we need a motion?
You need a
Oh,
motion
yeah,
to
motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Then I moved
I
that
can
we
smell my
adjourn.
mom's cooking. It's sorry.
I'll second that, Nancy.
Thank you, Marlon.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed, abstaining, motion carried. Thanks, everybody. Have a good
Happy
night.
Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Oh,
happy
happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.